Good day, students, and welcome to Advocate Bapu Saheb Bhunde High School, Lonavla Geography Digital Class. Dear students, observe this picture. Now, can you tell why these trees are swaying? Yes, correct. These trees are swaying because of the wind. Now, observe the second picture very carefully. Observe which objects are moving on their own and also observe which objects are not moving on their own. Now we can see the books on the table, the calendars on the wall, the plants in the pot are moving naturally on their own. But we can find that the chair, the electric pole outside the house, the pots of the plants, they are not moving on their own. They will only move if we put pressure on them. So, dear students, the objects which are moving on their own also are moving because of the pressure of the wind. Now try this. Fold a paper into two sized rolls. Keep both the paper rolls on one side of the table. Try to move both the papers without touching them as shown in the image. See which paper rolls first or moves first to the other end of the table. Now you can pause the video and try this experiment. This paper can move because of the pressure of the wind which we are blowing with our mouth and with the book. So students, today's topic which we are going to learn is lesson number 5, winds. Now students, we feel the wind but we cannot see it. The movement of this air is called as wind. Now the air pressure is not uniform across the earth's surface. Air moves from high pressure areas towards the low pressure areas in a horizontal manner. And due to this, generation of wind occurs. Now, velocity of wind. What is velocity? The velocity of any object is the rate of change of its position. That means it changes the position. It moves from one place to another with respect to a frame of reference and is a function of time. Velocity is equivalent, that is, it is equal to a specification of an object's speed and direction of the motion. That means the direction in which it moves. So in short, what is velocity? Velocity is the speed of something in a given direction, or movement of something in a given direction. Now, the extent of differences in the air pressure affects the velocity of the wind. That means the speed of the wind is according to the air pressure it gets. If there is less difference in the pressure, wind blows with less velocity, means if the air pressure is less, the speed of the wind is less. If there is more difference in the pressure, wind blows with high velocity, which means if the air pressure is more, the speed of the wind is more. The wind velocity is measured in the units of knots or kilometers per hour. Now students, where do we find wind blowing with more or high velocity? Do you find high velocity in a market which is packed with people and shops all around? Or do you find more velocity on an open ground? Yes, you might have experienced the high velocity of wind in an open ground. Now what might be the reason for this? You will get the answers gradually as we study this lesson, wind. Now next is the rotation of the earth and the direction of the winds. Now look at the image and observe it carefully. The direction of wind is influenced by the rotation of the earth. We all know that the earth rotates from the west to the east. The rotation of the earth causes the change in the original direction of the winds. Now, due to the rotation of the earth, the winds get deflected. Now, deflected means they have a change in their original path. Now, they get deflected towards the right of their original direction in the northern hemisphere and towards the left of their original direction in the southern hemisphere. So, what causes all this? The rotation of the earth from west to east causes the change in the original direction of the winds. Now, next comes the types of winds. On the basis of the direction of blowing, the duration, the regions covered, and the condition of the air, winds are classified into the following three types: planetary winds, local winds, and seasonal winds. Most winds are known by the direction from which they blow or by region in which they blow. First, we will learn about the planetary winds. Now, observe this image carefully. What are the planetary winds? The winds which blow regularly on the earth from high pressure to low pressure belts throughout the year are called planetary winds. These winds cover a large portion of earth. These are the easterlies, the westerlies, and the polar winds. Now, in both the hemisphere, the winds that blow from the mid-latitudinal air pressure belt to the equatorial low pressure belt between 0 degrees and 5 degrees parallel are called the easterlies. The original direction of easterlies change due to the rotation of the earth. In the northern hemisphere, they blow from northeast to the southwest, whereas in the southern hemisphere, they blow from the southeast to the northwest. Now, these winds coming from both the sides converge near the equatorial calm belt. Now, what are westerlies? Now, in both the hemisphere, the winds that blow from the mid-latitudinal high pressure belt between 25 degrees to 35 degrees parallels to the subpolar low pressure belt between 55 degrees and 65 degrees parallels are called the westerlies. Now, the original direction of the westerlies change due to the rotation of the earth. In the northern hemisphere, they blow from southwest to the northeast, whereas in the southern hemisphere, they blow from the northwest to the southeast. So, these are westerlies. Now, polar winds. Now, in both the hemisphere, the winds that blow from the polar high pressure belt between 80 degrees and 90 degrees parallels to the subpolar low pressure belt between 55 degrees and 65 degrees parallel are called the polar winds. Now, polar winds generally blow from the east to the west. So, this was all about easterlies, westerlies, and the polar winds. So, that's all for today. I hope you all have understood up till now. We will meet back again and continue with the next points of the same lesson. Till then, thank you and have a wonderful day.